The other day we had dinner at his crib, and I didn't know that he soaks his burgers in Sprite before he cooks them.
Huh?
I guess it's a Wisconsin thing.
This is a grill master over
in
here,
Sprite.
so.
In Sprite. I guess it's a Wisconsin thing.
Before I say something else, how was it?
Oh, it was great.
Oh.
It was great. Coach Dickert he could cook some burgers now. He could cook some burgers. It was great.
New head coach for Wake Forest, Coach Dickert is here. Out of all the things that you thought we were going to talk to you about at your first ACC kickoff, here we are. And is there something we have to set the record straight on?
Well, I gotta say the process.
Okay,
I mean, it's more than just the process.
Yeah, please.
You know, when you're cooking for 100 football players, you're talking about 300 burgers, right? Mm-hmm. The last thing you can serve is a dry burger, right? And normally from Wisconsin, to be honest, we put the burgers and the brats in the beer, right? In the big Nesco.
Yeah.
So, I learned a Dickert family tradition. You got the kids around, you can't use the beer. You put a little Sprite in there. It gives it a nice little sweet taste.
Okay.
You let it stay warm, hydrated. Be in there for about 30 minutes. You eat them perfectly, and it's
So 30 minutes.
Let me get it right. They marinate for 30 minutes, or they
just staying hydrated, and
is it in a big?
Yeah, big Nesco, big cooker.
How did you land on this particular drink instead of something else?
I'm a Sprite fan.
Like a cheer wine, maybe.
I'm actually
I don't know.
thinking about doing it.
It's just one of those things where, how when you learn grilling, from the history of your uncles and your dads, that's how they kept the burgers, at the family cookouts and reunions. That's how they kept them good throughout the time.
Before you leave, I want to get your number so I know exactly.
I appreciate that.
What I
the
have
best
ever
part
thought.
is, though, he said they tasted good.
The celebration that we saw off camera when he said that was a big win for you.
It's a huge win. It's a huge win. A lot of pressure. I mean, these guys put me under.
A lot of pressure.
Starting off on a high note with that, and Coach, I know it's been a high note for you taking over this program. What's been the big piece of this offseason that has you the most excited about what's to come?
Well, I think it's just, starting from start. Really starting from scratch. I mean, a lot of people, I like to say, we're one of the teams in the country that people don't know a whole lot about. You look at 43 new players, 8 from high school, 35 from the transfer portal. Of those transfer portal guys, those guys have added 17,000 career snaps. I just think it's really, really important to know that if we build something special that nobody watches, we can be that surprise team this football season. But you got to stay true to the process. That's what I love. Our guys have done that since day one, and they've embraced every possible change that we'd asked. There's a new belief. There's a new energy. And a lot of people will tell you about Wake Forest football, and they like to tell you about all the obstacles. There's a great opportunity here. The foundation has been laid. Coach Clausen has done a tremendous job. We're really the only P4 program in the last 40 years in North Carolina to win an ACC championship. Excited to build on that.
And he's done a heck of a job building, developing players over the years. What advice did he give you taking over this job?
I give Coach Clausen a lot of credit. Before I took the job, we had about a 4-hour conversation. It was coach to coach. It was man to man. It was, these are the things that I love. These have been the challenges. This is how we've done it over time. I think when you authentically know people want you to succeed, there's something powerful in that conversation. And that's what I got out of it for Coach Clausen. And, I've had plenty of times where I've had to call him for, how'd you handle this? What's been this process? And, like I said, he believes in us at Wake Forest and wants us to be successful.
We talked to your running back earlier, and he said that, we asked him about the differences. A guy that's been there for a long time, won a lot of games, and then now you come in, and he said the energy has been a huge just shift in how you do meetings and loud music and screaming. There was a Wake the Deeks, I think, as he called it, there. So just a snapshot for America. You as a coach, what do you bring to Wake Forest?
I think we got a saying, be you but align with us. I want our guys to be the best versions of themselves daily. We don't want to replicate a bunch of robots. So to do that, you need to bring energy to these guys. But they need to see, you're in it for them. I go back to my first conversation with Demond, it was just really all about life. What can I do to help you, Demond? And I just think when you show up every day with a purpose, on purpose, it's just really transformative in their lives. And I think our guys have really embraced that change. And, now we got to take it to the field come August 29th.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that was your first conversation, because when we asked him, why did you stay? Why are you here with the change? And I'm sure the opportunity to go anywhere. That's the first thing he said. He said your realness, your trust in him, but also his trust in you was the thing that stood out the most.
It's just so powerful. I'll never really forget that conversation, but for Damon to put a stake in the ground and say, I want to be here, I want to finish my career here. Wake Forest did a great job of establishing a great family around him and say, I fit here, I don't want to start over. Right. And he's embraced everything, along the journey, and I'm proud of him. He's still 21. He had the best offseason of his life, and he's ready for a breakout season.
Coach, I want to learn more about your career, and I want our fans to as well. But as I was looking on the internet, quarterback high school,
yes,
got moved to a receiver, all conference, and then you had a bunch of GA and all that kind of thing. You eventually became a coordinator at Wyoming 1 year. Then you go to Washington State as a D coordinator.
Yes, first, yeah,
and then interim head coach. Bam. What? Tell me what happened and when you took over and what that was all about. And then obviously they rewarded you.
Yeah, I mean,
head coach full-time.
There's a lot of things. I think I have a very unique journey. 17 years ago, I was a Division III graduate assistant.
Yeah.
I was dang near painting the lines on the field. And I got a unique opportunity. I think I'm one of 2 FBS coaches at the P4 level that have coached at every level of college football.
Wow.
I think that's a unique experience. In my 17 career, coach, I've moved 11 times.
Wow.
I saw that.
You got a great wife.
Yeah, I like to say my wife loves me. While we're having 3 kids, right?
There's only one wife so far.
Yes.
He's trying to keep it that way.
Coach knows. But, we walked in an opportunity at Washington State. In our time there, we went through the most adversity in the country, maybe of any team in college football history.
Yeah.
And that shaped me as a young football coach. And, I started this journey just hoping that one day I could make it to scholarship football.
All right.
Right? This is what a Division III wide receiver looks like. I look like a fullback now. Right? But I played for the love of the game.
Yeah.
I really did. And I tell the guys that. I got to do something a lot of players don't and just play for the love of it. And I think that's what's really shaped me. There's a lot of really good college football coaches at Division III and Division II, and they just don't get the same opportunities that I've been afforded.
Amen.
Coach, I listened to, I don't know if it was the opening press conference you had, whatever it was, you were speaking, and I'm sitting there taking notes. I mean, every single quote that came out of your mouth was one that I'm like, I need to remember that. I got to write that down. What's the one that you take the most pride in that you live by?
Well, I just think it's our standard of best. And I know a lot of people have, used it and talked about it, but it's a compounding thing, and follow me on this. It starts with belief. Now, you don't believe in yourself, your team, in the process of how you're doing it, you're not going to show up with the right energy, right? I'm a big energy guy. I hate energy vampires. I don't want them anywhere around me.
Oh, John Gordon.
I want guys that can really, bring life to it. I tell our guys, if I have to motivate you every day to walk in the building and do something you love to do, we have a problem, right? But when you believe and have the right energy, you're going to strain for the things that you really care about. This is still a game that is extremely physical and tough. You can introduce all the transactional things you want. You better be able to strain and push through adversity. And I think when you believe in all those 3 things, the T is team. It still is the greatest team sport ever invented, and you need the man next to you. And I think no matter what happens in our game, that can never be lost. So, like I said, that best acronym and that way of life is really important.
Coach, I know obviously Wake Forest chose you, but you also chose Wake Forest. What were some of the things when you were doing the interview process and you were going through meeting people and seeing things that you were just like, man, this is awesome, and this is something I want, or somewhere I want to be?
It was a double kind of interview process. As they're interviewing you, you're interviewing them, to make sure that they're really sharing, a vision. To me, there's difference between vision and alignment. Wake Forest, we're aligned, right? We're invested heavily on the future of this football program, and we're not going to wait for the results. We're going to believe in the process. It just fit me, though, personally. They've had 3 head coaches in 30 years. There's been stability at this program. Obviously, a high academic institution. I believe it still believes in, formulating the best men possible, and that just aligned with our core values. So it was always the right time for our family to kind of transition. My daughter's going to be a freshman in high school.
Come on.
So if you got any advice in that, let me know.
I got something you can borrow.
Yeah.
I got something you can borrow.
I was going to say, don't move again until she's out of high
That's
school.
right.
Don't do it.
We're going to be here for a long time, Coach. So, it was the right time, the right moment, and more importantly, it's the people.
Coach, it is a special place. I know you're fired up about it. They're fired up about you. And one thing we always hear from you is about bringing the juice. We got something else that we're bringing you right now.
Oh, we're
brought
our own
bringing you
juice.
some burgers. Maybe we should say bringing the soda from now on. I don't know because these aren't just any burgers.
Have they been?
They have been soaked properly.
Wait, no way.
Yes.
How do you know that?
I don't know.
Because they had them made specially after we heard that this morning.
This is mine.
So we need to know if they were done well.
All right, and I
On
won't,
TV, you're taking a bite. You have to.
Yeah, I'm going in. Normally
Eddie, go.
It looks.
I'm doing this?
Somebody better.
I'm going.
You
for
made
it.
that face. You better at least
Yeah,
try.
you gotta try. You gotta try. I'm on a diet.
Hey, come on.
You're on a diet.
Right.
Seafood diet. I see
That's
that.
next level right there.
Is it
Is
good?
it good?
It's got that right sweetness to it. You can taste it.
I'm getting in on the other
moisture
side.
Where did
is
you
right.
make this? How did we make this? This is so unbelievable.
Coach, what do you think?
I like it. That's good stuff.
Thank you.
It
All right,
does
I
have a
probably
little.
won't try it myself at home, but we're coming to see you next week. Maybe we can set something up.
Okay.
We can make it happen. We can make it happen.
One
We'll
more
do it.
bite
Little
for the rest.
conversation. Little snack and soda here with new head
What a way at
coach
the end of the day.
Jake Dickert.
that's right.
We appreciate
That's right.
it, Coach. We're not done with the
Looks
Demon
like a
Deets
Krabby
yet because got Justin standing by. Justin, we'll bring the burgers over to you if you want.
Good.
Here with Nick Anderson and Devon Patterson. You guys didn't know that your coach soaks his burgers in Sprite?
I was unaware.
Yeah, that was a new one for me.
Nick, you didn't have to come back. New coaching staff, first-year head coach. Why come back to Wake?
Wake took a chance on me so many years ago, it seems like now, but to leave at this point would just it wouldn't sit right with me. And then, just the conversation I had with Coach Dickert, the stuff that he, the vision he had for our team this year, it just excited me, and so I'm really glad I stayed.
Devon, first impressions of the new coaching staff and Coach Dickert.
Definitely a great person, great guy to be around. The entire coaching staff, great personalities. They bring a lot of knowledge to the game, and they share a lot of knowledge with us on the game. So definitely great to be around and definitely great to learn from.
Nick, I know coaches leaned into the best mantra, believe, energy, strain, togetherness. What does that mean to you and your teammates?
It's something, it's the standard. We have to bring it each and every single day, and so that's the message Coach Dickert has shared with us, and so that's been evident every single day we showed up. We have to live the standard.
Do you feel like you're always trying to prove yourself with this new coaching staff? Because everyone has a clean slate, Devon.
Yeah, you come out every day and you work as hard as you can, and you just build with your teammates. So that's basically the standard. You come out, you work. That's just Wake Forest football.
Nick, as one of the OGs on the field and one of the experienced guys, do you look at yourself as a coach on the field? Do you want to implement the new culture?
Yeah, I think so. I think, trying to pick the brain of Coach Dickert and also our defensive coaches, and so, to calm the storm, when it happens on the field, and so to get all the guys to just, kind of take it easy and just remember that what we've worked on and stuff. So I value myself in that aspect, and, it starts with the communication.
All right, fellas, we're going to have some fun. We got Justin's jar here. I'm going to have you both pick out a question. Devon, I'm going to have you go first, and then Nick will pick one out himself. Don't get your hand stuck. Yeah. Go ahead. And Devon, I'm going to have you read it out loud.
If the team had a TikTok dance-off, who's winning and who's getting cut first?
All right.
I'm not going to lie. I might win it. I know a few TikToks under my belt.
Your dance skills are like that. Can you confirm?
I can confirm.
Yeah,
I can confirm.
The other day.
Who is getting cut first?
I hate to do it, but it might be Rue. He don't really dance up there, man.
All right, Nick, what did you get?
My question is, if your life were turned into a biopic, what would the title be, and who would star as you? That's a very good question. I think the title, I'll just say inspiration, and who would play me? I'd say Brad Pitt.
That's a handsome-looking guy.
That's right.
I like that. That's a strong answer. Devon, who would play you in that movie?
I have to say Michael B. Jordan.
Okay, I ain't mad at that. I thought you might say Denzel or something. Nick Anderson, Devon Patterson, best of luck this season, fellas.
Thank you. Appreciate it.